Welcome to Say It Out Loud Sports episode 91. Pat Graham is not here with us today. So I got me and Pete and Darren. But before we get into it, we're going to talk about next week. Pat comes back, and he's going to wrap up the NBA season. He's going to have special guests from Off the Ball Network, Stephen Gillespie and Chris LeBron on. They're going to do a little first-round mock draft for you guys and kind of end NBA for the year.
Perfect. It's going to be great. But first of all, we got Darren Parsons.
We got Darren Parsons in the house. Now, so people, well, everybody knows who Darren is. But
right.
So Darren is me and Pete, everybody, where we're at, we all grew up with Darren. And Darren we're going to tell Darren's story from start to finish to the Brandy's built.
Right.
Kind of put together.
Exciting.
It's kind of wild. How you doing, Darren?
Doing well, guys. How are you?
Doing all right?
Good, man.
Cool. So, Darren, you've kind of built this big following with your off-road stuff, with what you got going on.
Yeah.
I want to introduce you. I didn't know what to introduce you as. I didn't know what to introduce you as, like Darren Parsons, the high-performance driver, the pilot of the 1447 OMG.
Yeah.
I didn't know. What do you like to go by?
I'm just Darren Parsons.
Just Darren?
Jack of all trades.
Right? Dorky desert kid that got into an off-road truck.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
All right. So let's just get into it. Where did it start?
Well, I was growing up in the desert, just a kid on dirt bikes and stuff. My dad was always into some type of high-performance vehicle. We were building circle track cars when I was really young, and we were building drag cars. And, I did a little drag racing with him, but my heart was always in the dirt because it's where I grew up. Did a lot of just chasing racing through my younger years of aspiring to be an off-road. I raced dirt bikes from when I was like 14 until I was 22 or so. I think it was about 21 actually.
I went to a couple of races with Darren. It was fun times.
It's been there. Yeah, you were there.
Yeah, we've had some fun times.
We've hung a dirt bike off a trailer before.
We've done some wild stuff.
Yeah,
I was really surprised at how successful your dad was at drag racing and still is.
Yeah,
you didn't continue to follow down that path.
Yeah,
I was really surprised because I remember drag racing you back in the day.
Yeah, I did the drag racing thing for a few years. Obviously the high school stuff was super easy because you grow up with the right equipment, knowing the knowledge of it, and it was super easy racing in the high school class. And then I started racing the association stuff at Fontana Speedway, and I got a couple. I raced it for 3 years, the association stuff. And every year I was in the top 5 at the end of the year points-wise, and I won a handful. I think I've won like 7 or 8 races doing that. And it was good. It was fun. The crazy thing about drag racing was I was making money doing it.
Right.
The cars.
Yeah, that doesn't happen a whole lot.
No, it doesn't. Especially like with my, the same thing. I was aspiring to be an off-road, but it was like I'm at the drag races actually making money, going racing for the weekend. Literally, we were paying our bills and making money. So it was crazy to be like, I'm that ignorant to where I'm just going to take a sport where I could actually turn a few bucks and just go throw myself into a sport that is like literally the quickest way to $1 million in off-road is starting with $2 million. So
no, absolutely. No, that's freaking awesome, man. But so Pat had one question.
What's that?
And it was, what sane human being, wants to huck it off a jump in a truck? What is it just a thrill? I mean, because you get a similar thrill in drag racing, right?
Yeah.
Drag racing, I think you kind of get bored going in a straight line. You know what I mean?
That's it. It was boring.
Yeah, but going 160, I mean, come on.
Knowing that,
I still drag race, guys, so don't be a hater.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
I appreciate
At
it.
some point, you kind of get bored. You want to turn left.
Yeah.
Or turn right.
Yeah, the only time I ever made money racing at all, period, was it was a 4-cylinder front-wheel drive enduro racing. That was it. That was the only time I ever made money.
I really wanted to do that with you guys too.
Dude, it was such a blast, man.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the drag racing thing. Yeah, like you said, it was just kind of a straight line. You get there, you wait all day long, you make your passes, and again, it came so easily because I'd been doing it since I was literally able to walk. So so going into it and having that kind of knowledge, having the best parts, I was almost spoiled into it. It was like my daddy's sport that I followed him into.
Yeah.
And although I was good at it and we had a lot of fun with it, it wasn't. I couldn't go to the bigger races, because I was conflict of schedule because we have to shop together, so we can't be. One of us has to be there at all times, or else it doesn't work. So I couldn't go to the bigger races, so there was nowhere to go besides just the association racing. So I could have taken the car in a different direction, which I thought was on the table, but it wasn't.
Right.
So when that discussion came up of taking the car in a different direction, maybe going more like towards a no prep style racing or stuff like that, like that wasn't anything that I was going to be able to do. So that was when I was like, all right, cool. Well, this is your car. This is your sport. This is what you want to do. I'm going to go ahead and just take this.
Go do something completely different.
Buy an off-road truck and
you were going to do what you wanted to do.
Financial suicide, yeah.
All right, so we get to the off-road.
It
truck.
really is.
Yeah.
So you've built this, 1447 OMG kind of like this brand, and you've put your face to this brand, and you've built this following. So you go to off-road. How does it start? What makes you decide like I'm going to buy a Ranger and I'm going to?
I didn't have any intentions on racing it or anything. I just kind of wanted to build a cool truck to go have fun in and go. Like literally one of the first trips I ever took in the truck, I was with one of our buddies, Rocky Mita. We took the truck and we just drove it to Cal City in the dirt just to see what it would do. And it was like, I got to Cal City and I'm like, I went to the motocross track because that's where we rode dirt bikes. And I went to the track and I was like, man, it'd be so cool to just go take this thing for a lap around the dirt bike track. And it's nothing anyone ever does with their trucks. And it's like it blew my mind at that point. And it was like 2010, literally 11 years ago. And I was sitting at that motocross track going, man, it'd be so much fun just to go around this track in this truck. And, Richard Boyle, he got me some springs and seats for the truck. And I really wanted to pay him for it. And he goes, no, you're not going to pay me for it. You're just going to come racing with me. And I'm like, dude, I didn't build a race truck. And he's like, no, you're going to go racing with me. And I was like, I can't afford it. I straight up can't. He's like, no, I'll pay for your entries. Just come to the races.
It's an expensive hobby.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you're talking $700 entries. You just throw it in the trash because there's no prize. There's no money coming back to you. It's all going towards BLM fees and everything else. So
and there's prep on your own car and stuff.
Oh gosh, that's disgusting.
You're rebuilding every race,
right? And so at the first year, he told me, he's like, all right, I'm paying your entry. You're going to follow my instructions. You're just going to go drive around this course. I'm like, well, I want to go fast. And he's like, no, you're just going to go drive around circles. So I did. And I won 5 of the 6 races that year. I almost went undefeated. Nice. Just literally.
That's big time.
Yeah, and just going out there and driving around circles. Just kept that in my mindset of keeping the truck together. I built a good truck. I had a good Eric Moore who helped me build the truck, or I bought the truck off of and then completed it with me. He was there, and we knew the truck in and out because we'd built it. And just went out there and just drove around and seen what was going to happen. And then at the same time, I wanted to do video content. So we did the Deserted Playground 1 at that time. And it was something that hadn't been seen before because it was kind of snowboard versus off-road because my buddies were snowboard editors in Chili Donut Productions. So we kind of took their knowledge of like how to make something cinematic and took it to off-road. And it really opened a huge genre in off-road where nobody had ever done anything like that before. So it was really cool to be on that forefront and do that. And then from there on forward, it just kind of, I kept on chasing the championships for another like 4 or 5 years. And it got to the point where the truck was getting really expensive to where like the parts on it weren't just cheap, like swap meet finds. I couldn't just be running used parts anymore. Right. I'm driving the truck faster and faster and faster regardless because I didn't have Richard there paying the bill anymore, telling me how I was going to drive. And so I was like, I went out and I started driving faster and faster to the point where I went through 4 LS7s in 1 year, and those engines are
wow.
Yeah, those engines are like
they're not cheap.
They're $16,000 each, and
right.
So
you're fronting the bill for this?
Yeah, that was that. And that was it. I was like, after that, I was like, we had our first daughter, and I was like, that's the last time I'm doing this. So it was trying to find a different direction. And fortunately, I had gotten into social media at the same time, and being able to capitalize on the new sponsors coming in and stuff, and showing them like, listen, this is what you guys are used to. You're used to putting a sticker on your truck, and you go out, and if you finish well, people see the sticker on your truck. Well, now I'm coming at this differently. Yeah. Now we have, and at the time, we're talking 2014, 2015, we're talking like 10, 15,000 followers, but still it was nothing that anyone else had even played into yet in off-road.
Right.
So you're at 10 or 15,000 followers.
Yeah.
And you're telling these companies like, hey, not instead of just, slapping the sticker on my truck
right.
and me finishing well and you guys getting all this exposure, like I need to reciprocate what I'm doing, right?
Well, what I was telling them is essentially instead of you guys sponsoring these drivers that are out and possibly doing well, I'm going to be out there and you're going to get the publication no matter what from me being there, from pictures, videos of me being there.
Whether you race or not.
Whether I'm racing or not. However I finish, you're still getting the content of me being there. And what's 10 or 15,000 eyes on me doing that versus your previous standard of maybe 200 or 300 at the event, seeing the truck at the finish line, or the published in a magazine.
It's a bigger brand
that 1,000 people see. Yeah, so it's like some people got it, and that was when we kind of like started moving in that direction. And then we got like a bunch of us together, and we created Competition 1450 class, which is like we picked out 5 of the biggest races, and we took again all these sponsors I created relationships with, and we were like, hey, this is the race we're going to go do. You guys sponsor the race. Then it doesn't matter who's finishing well because you're the head of the race sponsor. You're the title sponsor on the actual race.
It doesn't matter how the finish. Who
and then all these guys, they're all going to run your sticker in order to qualify for the prizes. And that was like then that again just incorporated us more into this kind of branding or whatever that has been created. It was like just.
You guys created your own class.
So did you do the groundwork to get a hold of like guys like was it Hoonigans and everything that you're involved in?
But now
this is before, right?
That's later. This is before.
You talk about like Eric Moore and you guys. Yeah. Is this where Terra Crew started?
Well, no. Terra Crew was actually Dirt Alliance at that time, and that was something that I carried on my back heavy.
I remember that truck.
Right, and that was
when the truck was. You've built this truck like 3 or 4 times, right?
Yeah, it's been 3 or 4 times. Yeah, it's been wrecked a few times. And
I remember it from the beginning.
Yeah, so the Dirt Alliance thing was like how I carried them heavy on my back, and we did again when we're out doing stuff. We just carried Dirt Alliance on us, and then we created media behind it, and then it got pushed through a page again on social media that now is near 200,000 followers. So even though I'm just an entity within it, I'm the one dictating what they're able to show as far as content creation stuff.
That's big time.
And then we brought in friends again that are the same mindset, same vehicles, same abilities, and we all did the same things together. And we figured out if we combined forces and did this together,
instead of competing.
We were still racing against each other.
You're competing in the race, but instead of competing like sponsorship wise,
right?
And trying to,
we're all working together in one entity. We're able to pull in a lot more sponsor money and attention. And it wasn't even anything where we were ever making money doing it. It was just enough to where it was covering everybody's costs to go do it.
That's perfect.
Yeah, so it was worth it. So we just kept it going like that for as long as we could. And then Dirt Alliance imploded in like 2017. That's when we started Terra.
So how's it implode? What happens?
The owner just had a different direction in his head as what
you guys
was
wanted
going to do. And we were a lot more grassroots about it. He was the one with the proposal decks going to sponsors and trying to... He was pitching what essentially we were going to do without talking to us about what we were going to be doing. Meanwhile, living off of the income we were creating for the business.
He's trying to use what you guys built for his own monetary value.
Right, and you can't hate on him for doing it because
it's kind of
it's sleazy, but it's he owned the brand, so that was what he wanted to do with it.
But at the same time, he owned the brand. But you guys built this brand, right. So when he overreaches and bites off more than he can chew, and you guys go a different direction.
Yeah, there wasn't any. There was probably bad blood there, but whatever, it is what it is. It's buried, and honestly, he's. I still consider him a friend to this day, but he's so disconnected from us, being so far away. He was in Arizona. And, he just wasn't really – the only time he showed up is when we were going to rake in some money.
He was there for the money.
Right. So that was just it, and we just decided to go our own direction. And we took the same group of dudes that was doing the exact same things.
And started your own –
with our own – I was the one that coordinated the sponsors from the beginning, so we took all the contacts, and we just started our own thing with –
roll them all over to your Terra Crew?
Right. And now we have Terra Crew, and we do we have 2-3 – times weekly YouTube drops and we keep that going consistently.
It's cool too. It's good content. I like it.
It is, yeah. It's a lot of fun. It's hard. It's hard to. I don't know. It's hard to coordinate at times because it's like I'm myself. I'm doing the coordination of the drivers and the events and whatnot. But I'm not an owner. I never wanted an ownership. It's been offered, but it's like something where I was really happy to just be involved in doing stuff with my friends. So it's like, now where do you draw the line between what you're doing for them and what you're doing for yourself? Because it has to be beneficial at the end of the day for your, a family or brand that you've created. And myself, it's just more about, making it worthwhile to be doing all this stuff with the young family. So it's something that I obviously battle with internally. But anyways, that's how that all became. And then, like, the Hoonigan tie-in was 2016. I was hired by them as a professional driver to launch the Can-Am UTVs, the X3 brand.
I remember that gold one you were driving on there.
Yeah, that was super gangster. So I was super stoked.
So was that like your first kind of big break into
professional driving? Yeah, absolutely. As far as the media, as far as like commercial standpoint, essentially, yeah. And that was awesome. It was great. It was a great time, and it spiraled off into many other jobs because these people that I was working with on set, there was other hired drivers or professional drivers there, and when the shot got called and we were dismissed to go get food or whatever we wanted to do, I was out in the desert picking up the video guys. I was out there picking up the camera guys, giving them rides in. Like, I got seats in this car. You guys hop in, put your camera gear in.
The rest of these drivers,
and everybody, all the other drivers are hauling us to the hospitality tent. It's like just growing up with that. The desert kid grassroots vibe is like, I'm here to.
I'm not going to let you walk.
Yeah, not only that, we're getting paid a lot of money to be there. Like,
exactly.
You guys are just going to split and leave all these people standing out in the desert.
Yeah,
like,
thanks for nothing. Well, whatever. Yeah,
doing that also helps you down the road.
Exactly,
It builds your relationships.
Right. I mean? So that's what it did: establish relationships. So I got a lot of jobs off that. I did.
That's what I've done. That Can-Am thing did open a lot of doors.
Yeah, I did a bunch of Top Gear driving. I did a series of commercials for Mountain Dew and stuff. So it's like we've had a lot of fun doing the professional driving side of it from essentially just from that one tie-in and just proving to people I'm just not a douchebag.
Right.
Yeah. That's
building relationships with these
right. People. So that's anyway. So the Hoonigan thing obviously is I work about a project a month for them.
Those guys seem like they're freaking great people too.
They are, yeah. We got a lot of good people. I mean, but it's crazy. We got 40-man crew when we go out and
they have great content.
Yeah, and film this stuff. It's crazy.
They also have some big names.
I'm trying to get out there. I'm trying to get out there, Darren, and do some burnouts for Hoonigan, man.
So they have burnout contests at their headquarters. Or
how fun would that be?
Tire Slater Studios. Yeah, they're definitely lighting it off over there.
That would be a blast.
Do they have
I would love that.
They have like events over there?
No, not yet. They're now very corporate owned, so they have to step carefully because of COVID and all the nonsense. So they keep on bugging me to bring a truck down there and kind of break in the place with a truck, but it's like I just don't want to deal with the nonsense yet. I'm gonna wait for it to calm down a little bit before I head back down there.
Yeah. But I get that.
Yeah, it's been. So I don't know the quote brand or whatever 1447 OMG is just. I don't know. It's something that's been pushed on me, and I don't see myself as that. Like, I'm just an average dude. I go to work 8 to 5, like everybody else I know. So it's like, it's hard to push in that sense. Like everybody wants this, everyone wants branding and all this stuff, and I guess it makes it, a little bit more impactful with sponsors if you have a brand that's affiliated with you. But I don't know. It's just the way I came into it with just being always trying to organize everyone else, trying to help everyone else. It's hard to think about just me and just want to push me.
You're trying to grow the whole.
Yeah, I want to grow the whole scene.
All the friends, everybody. I want to bring
everybody with
the whole
me.
Scene.
Yeah.
So the more popular you grow, like obviously you want to become a better driver, right?
Right.
Like, does that kind of push you into becoming a better driver?
Totally, and that's another thing. Like that's one thing that I tried to focus on this year was just getting into different venues. So that's why I went to the UTV racing a little bit this year. I haven't been super heavy into it. Only picked up a couple races, but found the sponsor that essentially like I promote their online dropship company, and we go out and we create content around this, whatever the event I want to do. And
they pay you to drive? They just supply the car and you get in?
No, they supplied the car to me. I built it with their products, and then I go race it or do whatever I want with it, and then they put money behind whatever I choose to go do with it.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, they bought the car and gave it to you and was like, build it?
Yeah, and then they supply. It's their car,
right?
But I get to use it for however I see fit.
You build it how you want and go out and race.
And pick out the products or whatever. I coordinate with them on everything, obviously, especially the content creation, stuff like that. So it's just something we're trying out this year. See how it goes. I'm a racer at heart. So it's hard to be like, oh yeah, I want to go to like these dorky YouTube or like content creation events for these UTVs where it's like just a bunch of heavy golf cart dorks.
Right.
It's hard to like just want to go do that stuff, but that's kind of what my role is going to be. It's
side by side racing is blowing up. It's getting
the side by side racing is legit.
It's affordable. It's more affordable to me.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's one of it's one of the things like I want to promote. I want to promote that you don't have to be an elitist. You don't have to have $150,000 Ford Ranger to go race this stuff and go enjoy off road. You can go
$35,000 side by side
that you paid $325 a month on, and then freaking put some parts on and go enjoy on the weekends, and then maybe pick up a race here and there. That's something I want to heavily support. So that's something I'm hoping to do.
I think it really helps the off-road brand too, because it's affordable. Because basically anybody could go do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I'm not saying everybody will be successful at it, but everybody can. That's affordable enough for everybody to go do.
Just show them what we're doing, and so that again, I want to be of the people. These other people. I want to be able to have a form of of whatever I'm doing. I want to be able to bring. I want to be an inclusive person. I don't want to be an exclusive person. I want to be of the people of like whatever I'm doing. I want anyone else to be able to come do. Which again, it gets a little tough sometimes because like when we go and we rent motocross tracks for the trucks, and something that's hugely popular,
like Glen Helen or something like that.
Yeah, so Glen Helen we haven't done Glen Helen because they run trucks there often, but like we did LACR and was that end of February or something like that, March. It was like middle of March anyways. We went there and we were in LACR, which is a pretty well-known motocross track in Palmdale, and it was it was just fun. And just we took the tops off some of the jumps and just threw everybody on track, and freaking 120, I think it was, we charged $200 a truck, and that included a complete photo package. And it's like you go do a track day in like a car, like even in like let's say you got a sick Hellcat and you want to go do a track, you're paying $300-400 for a track day on an asphalt track. So we felt like it was really cool, and it was an insane response. We had 60 limited entries. We hit that. Yeah, we hit that in 3 days without even
sold out.
It. Yeah,
that's big time.
It was fun. It was a good time, and everybody, we kind of jammed on the track for a good part of the day, and then at the end of the day, there's like kind of like standing around, looking around, and I'm like, went and picked out some of the bigger hits and went and did some of the bigger jumps on the main track. Yeah.
Put on a show for the people.
Just because it's fun,
It helps too. Like people,
you gotta stand out.
People get excited,
Yeah, you gotta stand out too. It's
fans that aren't racing are standing around, they're watching the race,
So that was, again, that's where it kind of got tough because you can't just have a track jammed full of people when you have between 5,000 and 7,000 pound trucks flying around.
No, you gotta be careful.
So that's like, we weren't able to have spectators at that one. There were some people that we kind of tipped off on where they can go watch. But anyways, it was great. It was a good time. It was a lot of fun. Again, just trying to, and being able to capture it for social media and stuff so people can see it at home and catch it on YouTube and stuff like that. It's just all part of it. And, sponsors like to be a part of it as well. So it's been great. I haven't really, even as of like last year, I didn't even have like, I had sponsors that I dealt with like on a friendship basis. Like every single sponsor I have is a text message, phone call kind of. It's not like an email. Hit me with your marketing deck. I've never actually made like a marketing deck or anything for these people. They're all just friends. So it's good. It's good. I think it's better to have a relationship like that. You could probably make more money if you had like an agent and went at it a different way, but I'm not at that point where I don't think I'll ever be at that point where I want to be doing something like that. And I think that, again, that goes back to the brand thing where you got to have like a brand to be able to approach them in that matter with an agent and stuff like that. So anyways, just keep it casual.
Like when you like a brand, you know what I mean? Sometimes like even without your own knowledge, like you build a brand before you ever market it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I get that.
That's one thing. Like if you your brand is like, dude, I know people talk about Darren, and I'm like, oh, the 1447 on G truck,
right?
That's Darren's. Like that's your like.
That was just what fit into brand. The brackets when I was making custom plates.
It works.
The DMV website.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, growing up, it was 147.
It was 187.
187.
So what I did, I had to have 4 numbers. So I took the 8 and split it in half.
Oh, okay, all right, that works.
So what is your favorite part about driving? Period. In general, just your favorite part. I mean, if you could pinpoint one, just one.
The motocross tracks for sure. The most fun.
The funnest ones.
Yeah, and it's not just about running on them. It's like finding someone that wants to drive around and get get sketchy with you, and like you kind of get next to each other, go off
Find
jumps
some hits
together and stuff. Like I'll do it with Blake Wilkie or Chris Eisenhower, Nick Eisenhower. We'll all get like people that we know are good, and we'll get in and out, go to insides, outsides.
He says like Blake Wilkie. This guy's in X Games, like big. He's been in X Games for what, 5 years, 10 years?
Blake's never been in X Games. Blake freaking has a sick bug, and he lives in San Diego and surfs.
Oh, that's right, the black one, right?
Yeah,
that's where I saw him from. Was he? Oh, so he had the bug. Then he was ripping around. What is Escondido in?
Yeah,
and the cops tried to come get it.
That was like his viral. video.
So I saw online. I saw different videos. Did they ship that bug overseas?
Yeah, they did, yeah.
So they couldn't come take it?
Not intentionally because of that. He had sold it, and it was like the video came out right afterwards.
They were looking for it.
Yeah, and it just so happened that the car was gone. But I mean, he went to jail for it. He served time.
He did go to jail?
Yeah, he went
for that?
Yeah, he went to jail.
Just for ripping around the streets?
I think it was like 3 separate weekends. He had to go spend 3 separate weekends in jail, and then he had an ankle monitor for a year.
Driving on the streets?
Yeah, I mean, you're not really supposed to do wheelies and jump off a freeway overpass.
Exhibition of speed a little bit, maybe?
That's kind of ridiculous. That's not jail time worthy. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, in relation to what's going on in the world, you wouldn't think, but that's what they got him for.
Well, I mean, that's how it starts, too. Yeah. We go way back when me and Darren were way young. We got our hands on some golf carts one night.
Oh, gosh. Which night?
Do you remember that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
He's all, dude, don't bring this up.
There was an active investigation.
Yeah, there was. I don't know if it's still active or not, so I'm not going to say where it was at or who it was at. But we had a great time. I came around the corner one time, and I found Darren. He was knee-deep in the water in the golf cart. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Baba Ganoush comes around the corner with freaking 30 feet of chain link fence wrapped around his
it behind me, dude. Dragging it behind
flying.
me.
Oh, jeez.
We had a good time.
Hey,
say less.
Oh, good ones.
I'll never forget going to that campus the next day, whatever campus it was, wherever it was at, and seeing these golf carts driving around with their wheels pointed into each other.
God, there was a group of us. It wasn't just me and Darren. There was about 6 of us.
Someone else got caught for it.
Yeah,
they got sloppy. We always put them back and took the keys out when we were done.
Yeah, put them back. We'll park them.
Yeah, no. So before all this, when I heard your name come up on the podcast, I was like, what, Darren?
Yeah.
And then I didn't really realize on your Instagram page, like, you got a pretty big following. I was super impressed. I was freaking proud. I was like, man, this guy's killing it.
It's impressive.
This guy's literally killing it.
Thanks. I don't know. It's not like crazy or anything in relation to other people or action sports figures or anything like that, but it's cool because it's really homegrown. It's a lot of people the people that follow me really, I'm not famous for one thing or anything. So it's like a real, I got really good engagement because it's real average people that follow me that are really into what I'm doing. It's like, not because I'm not clowning on Blake, but it's not, I didn't have a viral video of me ripping a bug around San Diego. People don't follow me because of that. They follow me because it's like Darren's family man that shreds on the weekends and goes insane on his Ford freaking Ranger. So it's like,
So one thing I do want to bring up. So growing up, I knew you growing up forever. You're like the biggest Travis Pastrana fan on the planet.
Oh yeah,
that was your you were the biggest one I knew. Yeah, like we all watched X Games. Like this will lands a double backflip. Darren's group text and all this. Like it's the most epic thing ever.
It was. It
was wild. I'll never forget it either. I'll never forget it either. It was wild. But so, like you have built like this following. What was it like? 8 years ago, you're at Anaheim Supercross.
Oh,
and you guys leave, and you guys like to go to Del Taco, and he runs into like his hero Travis growing up, and you guys take a photo with him.
Yeah,
and then I just seen like a month ago, you met him, and like
we went to race. I was supposed to race against him in that Camaro that I raced with my dad when I was growing up.
So how surreal is that?
It was really crazy. I mean, literally, I text Brian Scott, who's the director of the Hoonigans, and I was like, I cannot believe you're having Travis Pastrana on set today and you didn't invite me out.
Yeah.
And he's like, sends me a text message, you want to race him? And I was like, no, you're joking.
No, absolutely, you're going.
He calls me on speakerphone with Travis.
So how surreal is that moment?
It was insane. I couldn't even put words to it.
So when you talk to Travis, do you tell him dude?
Yeah, I figure he gets it all the time. Like everyone there was fan.
No, he doesn't get that all the time. Like, dude, 8 years ago I met you at a Del Taco, and now I'm about to blow your doors off.
Didn't mention it. Well, no, actually, they didn't even let me race him.
No,
he had just gotten smoked in the race before. His car was hurt, His car was hurt, and I came idling up in that Camaro, and Subaru was like, absolute hard no. We are not letting him get broken off again. Like,
right. We're not letting Darren blow his doors off.
We're not letting this happen. So I ended
up bad look.
Getting another race, but it was crazy because like I parked the car there, and I was trying not to
This is the orange one, right?
Yeah, the Camaro.
Runs what?
Or you trying not to fanboy out?
Yeah,
you're trying not to fanboy out.
I was being respectful of his space, more than anything, because I know that he deals with that. I'm sure he deals with it all the time. So it was like kind of.
I think he probably deals with the public all the time, but like on a set when you guys were all
set,
yeah, I think it's a little different.
It was cool. Like I was standing there, and he just comes walking up to our group there, and I'm friends. Obviously, all the main Hoonigan characters are all like my good friends, so we're all standing there BSing, and he comes walking up, and he's just like, "That car right there is rad. That thing looks like it's going 100 miles an hour sitting still." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, let me show it to you. This is my car." He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't introduce myself, Travis Pastrana." And I'm like, "Yeah,
I know who you are,
Darren Parsons." I was like, "Let me go show you this car. This is a car my dad and I built. It's like my childhood project. We worked on this every day." And he comes to walk over. He's like, "Dude, this thing is just so awesome looking. Like it just." He's like, "What is it?" I'm like, look at him. I'm like,
he knows what it is.
What? He's like, "Yeah, it happens all the time. Like I love driving cars. I love automotive. I don't know a damn thing about them. I don't know anything about them. What kind of car is this?"
You could have told him it's a Ford Mustang, and he wouldn't have
known.
Oh shoot!
I was like,
"I'm not buying that."
He's a '67 Camaro, and he's like, "Dude, this thing is just so. Can you open the door?" I was like, "I open the door," and he's like, looking around there. I'm like, it's pretty raw. It's a '90s built race car, so
it's a bucket inside. Yeah. It's just a seat and a steering wheel and a shifter, right?
Right, exactly. And he's like, "Oh no, I love it, dude, and that's great. It's like a father son project. That's so cool. I can't even tell you how appreciative I am of you coming out today.
That's cool."
And he's like, "It's just, I know we called you last minute last night, and you threw this thing together. It means a lot to me. You brought it out." And I'm just like,
so he knows. He knows they call you, and you're like, he's on speakerphone, like, "Come out."
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, come out and race me." I'm like, "Okay," and it was really cool. And like I didn't get to race him, so that was kind of a bummer. But
what car was he bringing?
He had his Gymkhana Subaru.
He's got the Subaru.
Okay, yeah.
That car's bad too.
Yeah.
It's bad.
It was hurt though, yeah, and it was.
He hurt.
He blew the motor, or he didn't blow it, but it was like almost to the point of like not working
losing
anymore.
compression.
It was something happened. I don't know exactly what.
Well, dude, those Subarus that he drives, they only make it about probably 1,000 miles before their toes.
Yeah, 862 horsepower.
Yeah. They only make like 1,000 miles before their toes.
Yeah, so he was really bummed that he couldn't race, but he just stood there and hung out with us, and he's drinking beers and kicking it with us, and just. I don't know. I had a couple other like little casual conversations with him, just like amongst the group, but I didn't try and engage him and be like, "Yo, dude, I used to clip your freaking pictures out of magazines."
Right. So that to me, it's like that's full circle, bro. That's full circle.
It was really
low key.
That's
low key
crazy,
obsessed with
dude.
you growing up.
That's all
right.
But I'm still gonna play it cool. So
that's crazy. Dude.
Like that happened, and then a month later, like they hit me up, like, "Hey, can you come out to this UTV thing we have lined out with Polaris, and we want you to teach Tony Hawk how to drive a UTV."
What?
I was like,
dude.
"What? Are you kidding me?" And the whole thing got flipped upside down. Didn't end up hanging out with Tony Hawk, but it was pretty.
They want you to teach him how to drive.
Yeah, just the suggestion.
Yeah.
To have that Tony Hawk. Oh yeah, like that's a
On
normal.
the phone, like,
that's a normal thing.
You want me to come teach Tony Hawk how to drive a car?
Yeah, it was crazy. I ended up spending the day with.
If you would have turned down that offer,
well, I mean,
no, I wouldn't have.
Bucky Bucky Lathick went to the rally in X Games?
He did, yeah, he did.
Him and Deegan and all those guys.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. The day ended up getting scrapped, but we ended up still going there with it. It was freaking Tanner Faust, who's obviously
he's a great driver,
huge guy, and then
he's a great driver. He's a drifter too.
Yeah, for sure. And then Jason Ellis, that dude is
the
a
Wolf man,
dude. Whack, dude.
He's wild, bro.
He is absolute whack. Dude.
He's a wild card, dude. He does everything. He drives. He fights MMA. He was a skateboarder.
He did his podcast in my motorhome.
I listened to his podcast. He's great.
It was the first time I ever seen him in person.
You never seen Jason Ellis in person?
I mean, no, like I don't listen to podcasts. I never even listened to one, so it's like I didn't know like what the hell they paid me to bring my motorhome out so that he could do his podcast on my motorhome. I'm like, sure, whatever. And I like literally like as soon as we were done with the shooting what we did, which was complete clown act, then I dove into my motorhome, took a shower, and I'm like hanging out in the back bedroom, and they're just doing their podcast.
He's wild, dude. He's actually really good friends with BJ Baldwin too.
Yeah,
those guys are all buddies.
Yeah. They're all douchebags, but
you don't like BJ?
BJ is just the same kind of mentality.
He got famous, and he knows he's famous kind of deal.
They're just so extra, you know.
I know BJ. I've met BJ I've hung out with him like 4 or 5 times out in Vegas.
Shots fired right now?
No, I don't care. Like I mean,
I would. If
nice
driving wise, I put my money on Darren.
Oh no, dude, BJ can drive circles around me.
No way.
He's a professional driver. That's all he's ever done. But I don't have any ill will towards any of the guys. They're all talented.
He's just a scumbag.
He is a scumbag.
They're just the opposite of Darren. Darren's like bringing the whole crew along. Those guys are
they're all about themselves.
Who's the best driver that you've ever seen?
So I had
besides yourself, obviously.
So I had this question for
Darren.
I had this question for Darren. I want to know
who's the best driver.
No. Who's your top 5 drivers of all time?
Top 5.
All racing categories, everything. Who's your top 5?
I mean, you gotta. It's like hard to say with
if you had to put one guy in the seat of 1447 and win a race, who do you pick?
I mean, at the time, I would say Rob McCachran. Like you guys probably don't even know who's good.
I know who
like Rob
McCachran.
I know who he is.
Yeah, and
he's got a cool last name.
Yeah, he definitely does. And he's a Banff, like legendary Banff. And then you got like the Robbie Gordons, obviously.
Right.
Robbie's a legend.
Didn't you get to drive his truck?
I did. Yeah, I drove one of his SST.
The speed trucks.
It was SST trucks. Those little ones they race around the IndyCar tracks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the big jump ones.
Yeah,
on the pavement.
Yeah, I raced it in
Did you
Vegas.
hit those jumps?
No, we had actually way bigger jumps than that.
The ones on the pavement where they're coming around,
those are only like
30 feet in the air.
Yeah, those are like only 3-foot ramps though. I was launching off like 12-foot ramps and going like 120 feet off of them.
That's wild, dude. Those races are some of the funnest to watch. They come around and they hit those things. They're sailing.
They're so out of control. They're so light. And
dude, they
so
come around
powerful.
the corners and it's 3 tires on the ground.
Yeah, there's a reason why they only race them on asphalt too.
And every time
out of control.
Dude, when the race ends, nobody has fenders left.
He wanted me to race after I drove for him for that day. He tried to put VP Race Fuels behind me for $175,000 to go race for that year, that season. I think it was 2018.
You turned it down?
No. So guess it gets better. He's like, oh yeah, I got VP Race Fuels behind you, and let's figure it out. Let's hit up your sponsors to see kind of budget we can get behind you. And I'm like, okay, cool. He's like, yeah. So this is what we would need to do for a full season. Sends me like a full spreadsheet. It's $330,000 to race one of those for a season.
Out of your pocket or sponsor?
Yeah,
money?
that's without me wrecking it.
So that's out of your pocket.
It's either out of my pocket or my sponsors' pockets.
Oh man.
Yeah. So and that's without you wrecking it. And
what was VP covering?
Right. Exactly.
175.
They were covering 175 with the 330.
So he had VP in his pocket, like looking for a driver. He's like, I will put VP behind you for half the budget. You just have to figure out the other half. And I hit up all my sponsors.
Did you scramble to cover that?
I did for a minute, but it was just like literally like. Again, like
that's a lot of groundwork.
I mean, it's not even that. It's like if I'm going to spend $175,000 on something, I'm not going to go race someone else's truck in Australia.
You're going to do your own.
I'm going to do something else on my own. Yeah, I'm going to.
You spend $175 on yourself. You're sponsoring money on yourself.
Yeah, not even like that in a sense, but I can go buy a freaking 6100 truck and race it for a year for $175,000.
Oh, absolutely,
and be able to like be local and be more in my genre because I'm racing SST trucks. It doesn't translate to anything. You go race Indy cars or something, or you want to race NASCAR or something, you race an SST truck because you're driving on asphalt. It's out of control, and you're jumping and all those things. You do the lefts and the rights and the loading and the drafting and all that stuff. In my realm, that doesn't play into anything that I want to do. So I had to sit back and think about that because initially, obviously, hell yeah.
Oh, it sounds like a great thing.
But again, like
Robbie Gordon.
And it's like living in the 3 months out of the year, I'd have to live in Australia for this deal, and I'm like,
that'd be tough to do with the family.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
both
a family guy. Like, it's huge to me. So I'm like, there's no chance I'm going to do
You have
this.
a cool wife, though. She lets you kind of do whatever you want off road. And
somewhat. Somewhat.
Somewhat.
This guy's gone every weekend.
The honest answer is,
he's gone every weekend.
Yeah, it's a battle. But absolutely. No, she's awesome. She's a rock star.
That's wild.
And she's, we both get to chase our dreams, and she's happy as long as we both are doing
Does she
what we
drive?
do.
Does she drive at all?
She's driven the truck, I think, once. It's intimidating, and also the seat's like hard mounted, so she can't really reach.
Tough. Oh yeah, got to put a phone book in it. And hit the gas pedal.
It's hard mounted for you.
It's hard mounted for me, because it's got to be solid, so I don't get moved around when I wreck it, because that happens.
It happens. Yeah. So the 1447, it's been the scheme so far. It's been a year with the heat wave visual scheme and the paint kit.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Is there anything in the works?
Are you? I don't know. Just like last week, it's kind of like again, it's kind of nostalgic because I've been racing it for 10 years this year,
right?
And next year will be 10 years since I went for a championship pulled off championship anyways.
Right.
And so I was kind of thinking, about plans for next year and maybe trying to do it again, but doing it in the unlimited truck class instead of doing it in 1400. So I don't know, but it's just
if you're going to do an unlimited truck class, how is it a whole makeover?
No, the truck will be the truck got that makeover. So it essentially is a trophy truck from below the driver's seat back rear wise. And the front suspension suffers a little bit in comparison, but I know how to drive it, so I'm not really concerned about it. I could definitely run in the Snore series. I could absolutely be a top.
Does this thing have license plates?
It does. Yeah.
It does. And it also he's
all I care about.
So he's got this cool frame for the windshield.
Yeah, I built an aluminum frame.
And so you get a Ranger windshield, and you got I know as glass guy, he kind of cuts the corners and puts it in, and it folds down and up, right?
Yeah, you just bolt it in or out. It takes like a few quarter 20s.
That's cool.
But no, it's a 60. One of the times I wrecked it, I think it was 2013. I wrecked it, and it twisted the chassis up under it real quick. So we just swapped the frame rails and went to a 69 F100. So it was.
Oh, so you went from Ranger to an F100?
With chassis-wise, yeah. Okay. I always kept the Ranger cab on it, but we swapped everything over just so that it would stay street legal with everything I had done to it. So, yeah, it was fun. But
the truck's cool.
Yeah, thanks. But
I love the truck.
Anyways, I don't know. I might get ambitious, but again, like we're trying to put pens to paper right now on exactly what it costs, and we're talking just without any kind of any type of real brakes. If we're just going for a straight 6-race series without anything breaking on the truck major, it's $5,000 a race to race that truck, to show up.
Just prep and show up and race. And go
race
home.
It and then go home.
That's nothing breaks.
That's nothing breaks. No one's getting paid. That's $5,000. So
that's that out of your pocket, or is sponsors covering?
No, that's what we're going to figure out right now. Is if we can figure out a way for that to be covered next year, I'll entertain it. But I'm just trying to be. So I got a young family. I got a business I got to run. I have a lot of other things that get me a lot more promotion than going out and racing the truck. So me going to a motocross track, is worth a lot more than me going to a race.
Hoonigan headquarters and doing burnouts and
which costs me like nothing and
tires. Right, you probably got a sponsor for tires. Probably not paying for tires.
Yeah. So it's
still good exposure either way.
It's great. The racing I think is less exposure than the content created with big brands like Hoonigan and like your Terra Crew stuff and making videos.
Right.
Those are getting more views than GoProing your races.
Oh, absolutely it is. Yeah. And again, that's why I kind of played into the UTV world a little bit, because it's fun to go racing. I want to go racing.
To me, that's a like your stuff. It's all huge anyway, but like the side-by-side stuff is... To me, the fan base is probably more relatable because anybody can do it.
It's relatable, but it's a lot more hate too, because you can the UTVs are like the sand fleas. It's like
I get that, but I mean,
I like them. I think they're fun.
I do. So I have one. I have a 2020 Yamaha.
Yeah,
the YXZ, the 1000R. I have the Sport Shift one. Dude, that thing rips.
Yeah, they're so much fun.
Dude, I have so much fun. I take my kid out all the time. We have so much fun in it.
And then it's crazy because it doesn't matter which direction I want to go right now, because again, I don't want to do a championship run, and then next year I have this Gladiator I'm building out right now. It's going to be built more than any of the other Gladiators out right now.
So you bought a Gladiator and just tore it apart.
It's got
pretty much. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's got $50,000 worth of parts sitting there ready to go on it. I'm just waiting.
How many hours?
It'll probably take me 3 or 4 months of after work on the weekends building it.
4 or 5 hours at nighttime just working on it.
4 hours a day or so, and then in the good Saturday or Sunday every weekend. And
what are you going to do with that?
So that's towards the overlanding crowd. So a lot of my sponsors now, I can translate over into the overlanding crowd almost effortlessly, because I have a good following for that kind of crowd. And I can go out with KC Highlights and Rugged Radios, these brands that are trying to play into the overland crowd. They throw a guy that's a racer that has a following as being a racer into an overlanding crowd, and you kind of stand out like a sore thumb because you're different.
Right.
But at the same time,
to me, that's the plus side.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
To me, you have to be polarized.
Right.
You have to be one side or the other if you want to build like a brand or you want people to notice.
Yeah.
You can't be like everybody else.
Right.
You have to.
That's the draw.
True. So
it's what it is.
So that's what I I've tried to do the last few years. Like I built that XJ out. It's just like
that thing was sick.
Yeah, it's super sick, and it's like that brought me into a whole different realm.
That brings you into this whole not competition racing wise. This brings you into this rock crawling.
Exactly, the KOH kind of
King
crowd.
of Hammers. Is this where your Gladiator's at? Is King of Hammers?
No. The Gladiator won't. The XJ may be taken to that next level of being like at that level,
competing at King of Hammers.
Right. Well, not even competing. It would just be more of an exhibition vehicle again because it doesn't fit any rule for out there.
Oh, okay.
It's if I was running a class, it would have to have like a stock engine transmission, which it doesn't. So
to me, like King of Hammers has those rules where like the stock engine.
Right.
To me, if they really want to expand, you got to get rid of that stuff.
Well, they do. I mean, you have unlimited classes. There's like 4,700, 4,400.
They should be. That's what they should advertise.
Yeah, they do. I mean, but I'm saying like I would get absolutely spanked in those classes, whereas like a class for my Jeep would be more towards the Everyman Challenge class.
Okay.
Which in that realm, I'd have to have a stock engine transmission in order to run it.
You got a V8 in that thing, right?
Right. Yeah. It's not registered or anything. It's just completely
That's off-road. A straight red sticker off-road.
Not even red stickers, just whatever it is.
Non-off off-road.
Just whatever it is. I like that answer.
Just whatever.
I got it under.
Just hopefully I don't get pulled over.
Right. The BLM, the steer clear of BLM.
Yeah, they have to catch me first.
Yeah. I've had my run-ins with BLM. You know this. Those guys hated me.
Yeah.
They got me every time.
We'll see. I don't know. That's like towards the future. It's like, I don't want to take myself and go, I'm going to race a championship and like completely burn myself out from being at those other avenues. So we'll see what happens next year. But there's some talks on the table already.
We got some stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. The race truck is what it's going to be, though. There's nothing else I can do.
The 1447?
Yeah. I mean, I could maybe go to a bigger engine and that's about it. And it's like, it's really not worth it because it's already got.
So mechanically, you're going to leave it how it is. Are you going to change the color scheme at all? You're going to go different?
I've thought about it. I've thought about swapping it back to like a real basic kind of clean look because that's always been something I'm a huge fan of. I want it to be loud and
the gray, like the dark gray and red. That thing. So, that was the Dirtland days, right?
It was. Yeah, it was. Well, we had some Terra days and that, but anyways, yeah, the dark gray and red wheels and stuff like that. It's just super clean. So I don't know. The truck's super loud now, though. Like everything about it, inside, outside. It doesn't have any interior in it anymore. Those days, it always had interior. It always had door panels, stereo.
That was back in the day.
Literally as of 2018 prior, it always had interior.
Right, you were daily in it sometimes.
Yeah, so now
I've seen it at Stater Bros one time. I'm like, this can't pass me.
Yeah.
This guy's wild.
Right. Now it's just now
I did it. I see the Stater Bros parking lot one time. I'm like, Darren's out here wilding right now.
Yeah. I still take it. Still played it. I'll take it occasionally, but it's just super obnoxious now. It's not to the point where it's like you want to put a helmet on and drive it. You don't want to just put.
You want to go fast.
Yeah, you don't want to go to Stater Bros.
You want to go fast.
Yeah. You get in that truck. It's business. It's not just fun anymore. Fast, so
what engine's in that?
It's an LS7. Okay. It's a completely built out. It's like
that's a Z06 vet from like the C6 or C7.
Yeah,
C6 vet.
Yeah.
That's a Z06 C6.
Yep, it is. It's like 680 crank horsepower. We won't talk about wheels because off-road is completely disgusting how much power you lose to the drivetrain.
Lose to the dirt too.
Yeah, you got 40-inch tires and you got 10-inch ring gears. And
you got to spin all that momentum.
Just the axles alone are the size of a soda can.
You got to spin all that.
Right, so you lose a lot.
You lose probably 40%.
You lose more than 40.
You think more than 40?
Yeah. I'm 680 at the crank. It's only 424 at the wheels.
Oh, okay. You're losing more than
That's still ripping.
Yeah.
It's still rips.
Still fast.
It's fast for, but in relation to what you think it'd be.
A relation to a street car with 680 is...
Yeah, that's completely different.
Yeah.
I got a buddy that owns a shop. He's got a dyno. He tunes cars, and he's got a GTR. He's got a brand new Supra.
Yeah,
Ron.
Ron.
Dude, this guy.
I know. Yeah.
Well, I mean, his following online. He's the number one tuner on this side of the Mississippi.
Yeah.
When it comes to Subarus.
So who does all your engine work?
The guy that had built my engines actually moved to Texas like a year and a half
All
ago.
of them had to.
Yeah.
All of them,
Yeah, everybody out of California.
All of them had to get out.
So-
We couldn't do nickel plating out here. Couldn't do nothing. Everybody had to leave.
It's crazy. So now he's the one that built it. It's some shop in Huntington Beach has tuned it, and it's pretty much a loss right now. Because actually, I want to get a new lower end built for it because the engine's 2 years old and it's only a matter of time at this point.
Trying to buy a new block.
Well, I mean, blocks are easy. It's just the machining and all the parts to put it together, and
crank
like
and all this
super
stuff.
hard to find right now. So I'm trying to.
Unless you want to wait 3, 4, 5 months.
Oh, it's hard to get
Everything
anything right
is-
now. Look at Ford. Ford can't even put a new truck on the lot.
Yeah, exactly.
You try and order just wheels right now, and it's going to take 3 months.
Exactly.
I mean, like seriously, it's
King,
crazy.
so-
I've been literally waiting 3 months for wheels for my Gladiator.
I've been
Dude.
waiting 6.
So I didn't buy. I was gonna order some King shocks for my truck,
yeah,
just some
11
OEM
months.
replacement ones.
Yeah.
Like just put Kings on straight OEM replacement on my
Is
my
it that
new
just
Silverado.
nobody was working?
Dude, they were 5 months out.
Dude, they're 11 months back right now. As
It
of
was
today.
5 then. I was like, no
Is
chance.
it because
I'm not
nobody's working? I mean, like I was
waiting. They can't get
curious.
the
So,
parts.
actually, like,
they
King-
can't get the parts to put them together.
King, like I'm really close with the owner over there, and he was venting to me about it a handful of times. Almost every time I
can't-
talk to him, it's like his anodizing guy. He can't get anybody. The guy that anodizes his shocks, he can't get anyone to show up to work the machinery to anodize the shocks. So he can't anodize the shocks. So now King can't get the shocks anodized. So now he's having to go
Is
find
it
another
because they're
person.
making money on unemployment?
No, because
They
they're
just
not
don't wanna come
because
to
they can't
work?
find anybody to come to work, and and
Well, because
part
of
of it is
that,
parts. Part of it is parts. They
Well,
can't
parts are
get
parts are made by people, and these people are
A lot of them
definitely
aren't
getting-
made in the USA though. That's the problem.
Well, King's parts are all, but anyways,
They're all made in the USA.
Yeah, everything on there.
America.
Okay.
Yeah, they a lot of their machining's in house. They're mostly outsourcing for like just anodizing and like seals and stuff like that. Maybe the seals may be made out of the U.S., but I don't know.
It's tough to get anything.
It's crazy.
From overseas shipped in a container.
It's
and
like
get it off.
KC highlights. You're 4 months
good
back
luck.
because all the lights are on the ship right now.
Yeah. Ford's the
I know,
worst,
it's
dude. The chips for Ford trucks.
Yeah. Dodge, Chrysler, everybody.
Well,
Yeah.
Ford's the worst.
Yeah.
Ford cannot get the chips for their ECUs
Right.
to sell their trucks. They got 2021s that are going to sit that they can't sell. They have literally they're renting parking lots and spaces
that, in
to park
Tennessee.
these trucks that are brand new off the manufacturing line that they don't have chips to sell. Ford just made a deal to dealers. They're going to sell these trucks to dealers at a huge discount, and then they're going to pay the dealers to install the chips when Ford can get them.
Oh, that's actually not a bad idea.
Oh, it's bad for Ford. You're going to have some shady dealerships doing some wild stuff.
I'll buy one without a chip and wait.
Oh, well, that's the
Give me a
problem. Like,
discount.
I don't know. You're going to get a huge discount to go buy one. You know what I mean? But
Let's line it out.
to me, like a 2021 Ford, like F450 Platinum diesel, it's going to sit on the lot for another 8 months.
Yeah.
2022s are already going to be out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're going to be on the lot.
Oh, yeah.
This 2021, dude, I'm going to be able to get it at like $40K.
Yeah, a lot of people are building them right now and ordering
At a
them.
$40K discount, brand new.
Right.
It's the same truck as the 2022.
Only because it's sat on a lot for 8 months.
But it doesn't have any money. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
brand new. And it's the same truck as the 2022 and the 2023.
Yeah.
It's all the same thing.
The majority of the off-road trucks have Chevy engines in them, or is it like
people do a lot of
in the
different.
grassroots thing. It's definitely
LS
GMs.
is LS is the grassroots for everything. It's the
Well,
most.
not really. I mean, you probably have maybe 25% of people are running GM LS engines in them. And,
What are other people running?
Everybody else is running factory. I mean, in my scene, in like the pre-runner scene, you get into like the race cars, and then race cars are running LS engines. But even then, the top trophy trucks now aren't running LSs anymore.
Where do they run it? The
They're-
EcoBoost?
No, they're running like real trophy truck and like Patents and like any the other major brand. Big
These
engine
502
builder.
cubic,
More than that.
Oh, yeah.
all
We're
aluminum.
talking over 1,000 horsepower
Oh, yeah,
packages,
all of them.
every one of them. So they don't run. The LSs are becoming rarer and rarer, honestly, because a lot
Well,
of people.
they're running out of them.
Well, I don't know.
technology is getting better too?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like you can run an EcoBoost and freaking put a tune on it.
Those
and
things
have,
are trash.
Well, yeah, but in off road, like you get the Raptors and stuff out there, and they're running around with a tune on those things and a bolt-on kit and off road and having a great time.
My uncle had a EcoBoost in his truck. He
Yeah.
made it 28,000 miles, and he had to have the heads replaced.
Oh, shoot.
That's right. He ended up being a lemon. He hates them now. He will not buy one.
I've never heard bad, but yeah, I believe it. And they're pumping a lot of power into those little V6 engines.
I don't get it. Why the Raptor to me?
Oh, I know the Raptor should have
be a V6. Never won a V6. Why?
I don't know. It's horrible,
dude. There's people that are selling like 20. So it was like what 17 and 18 or 16 and 17. They didn't even make the Raptor.
Yeah,
you could buy a 15 with a 6.2, or you could buy. What was a 17 with the Eagle Boost?
Yeah, something like that.
There was like a 2-year span. We didn't even make it.
I remember.
Dude, you could buy a 15 with like 30,000 miles. Dudes wanted like $70,000 for them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah.
And people were buying them.
They were.
Because they had a V8.
Yeah. They're still buying them and selling them.
It's crazy. Dude, I seen some dude with a 2012 with like 145,000 miles on it. He wanted 40.
Yeah, I see
like,
you all over the.
Dude, you see me on there all the time. I roast these guys. I offered that guy like $17,000. I said, "I'll come get it today." I hate it.
This guy's
dude.
constantly just talking trash.
That guy, someone put up a TRX the other day, and you're like, "Bro, there's 1 mile away from me for a sticker, and you're trying to sell this thing over sticker."
140 he wanted. I'm like, bro, I could drive a mile down the street and buy one for $98,000. I almost called you out back on it, but I was like,
"Dude, stop!" It's so crazy. The market,
he's
like these
never
people.
selling that truck for 140. He'll act like he sold it for 140. He sold it for 95.
Right. Yeah. Somebody talked him down for sure.
You know what I mean? I'll say my buddy. I have a good friend. One of the owners of UTV Source that sponsored me this year. He bought a TRX out of Texas and he drove it. And he stopped in Scottsdale to put gas in it. Dude offered him 130 on the spot for it.
I would have sold it instantly. And I would have drove down the street to the Dodger Strip, ordered one for 95. He would put 40,000 in my pocket.
He didn't sell it. He was like,
"Why?"
He's like, "I've waited on it for 9 months
because of the weight."
Yeah, he waited on it for 9 months.
That's like these new Corvettes, dude.
Yeah, he's like,
these new Corvettes are insane, dude. I follow this Corvette page online. There's at least 1,500 of them in California for sale.
Oh shit!
2 LTs and 3 LT 2020 and 2021 Vets. They want 120 to 134.
Yeah, one of my buddies in Pismo has one right now.
I'm like
117.
Dude, so I got a buddy that has one right now, and it's got like 2,800 miles on it.
Yeah,
he bought it from the dealership, paid $98 for it, and he says daily people write him online and offer him like 120 to 134.
Yeah,
it's a 3LT, like one of the one with the Z51 3LTs. He's like, people offer me 134 daily.
Yeah,
I'm like, sell it.
I know, right?
Order yourself a Z06.
I know.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
upgrade, dude.
My Duramax that I bought in 16, I feel like don't ever drive it. It's sitting in the garage. Is like, it's worth literally $10,000
more than you bought it new.
Than when I bought it.
It's crazy.
In 2016, and I've put 40,000 miles on it.
Oh, 100%. Dude, Chevy called me with my Silverado and offered to buy it back for what I paid for it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, I'll sell it back to you.
Done.
Yeah.
Come get it.
I have friends that
But my problem is I can't replace it.
Exactly. That's where I'm at with my Duramax.
You can't replace your Duramax.
No, I don't want to buy a $95,000 truck and wait on it. So I'm like, that's fine.
I'll wait.
Yeah.
Mine, I'm like, you guys can buy it back, but I can't go buy one.
Right.
For the same, like, I can't replace it. So
I get it.
Not doing it. That's, I don't know. Do you guys got anything else?
No, I mean, other than I just want to go do burnouts.
Let's go. Darren here.
Yeah.
Right, we're going out.
Yeah, no, I want to go do burnouts.
I'm going to go get my side-by-side right now. I'm going to
bring out, I got that 65 Nova.
Okay.
Just got painted.
Perfect.
It has about 750 horsepower, runs 9s.
It does look good.
So, yeah, we should go do burnouts.
Let's go.
All right,
that's my only request is just burnouts.
All right.
Thanks for listening in this week. Thanks, Darren, for coming on.
Glad to be here.
Make sure you tune in next week. Pat's got Chris LeBron and some other guys from Off the Ball Network coming. So thank you.